There were children sitting on the cold marble floor of the mansion, toys in their small hands, when the front door opened. Benjamin Franklin stopped walking. He did not shout. He did not move. His voice came out low and sharp, cutting the air. "There are children in my house." Clara Lopez felt her legs weaken. Behind her, Noah was coughing softly. Lily clutched her doll, both too young to understand that one rule had just destroyed everything. This was the rule that never bent. No children. Ever. Benjamin pointed toward the door, his face hard, his eyes empty. Take them and leave. Clara's whole life collapsed in that moment. The job, the rent, the medicine, the future she was barely holding together. Then Lily looked up at the man everyone feared, saw something no one else had seen for 7 long years, and asked in a small, trembling voice, "Daddy, you said?" Benjamin stopped breathing. And in that silence, a silence heavier than anger, 4 broken lives stood on the edge of something that would either destroy them completely or change them forever. Clara Lopez did not plan to bring her children into the mansion that morning. She woke up before the sun, the room still dark, the air heavy and quiet. Noah was warm against her chest, his breathing uneven. Lily lay beside them, her small hand curled around the edge of the blanket. Clara touched Noah's forehead and felt the heat. Fever again. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. One message. Daycare closed effective immediately. Health violation. Clara stared at the screen. Her chest tightened. She read it again, hoping the words would change. They did not. She sat up slowly, careful not to wake the twins, and pressed her hand to her mouth. Her backup sitter was out of state. The neighbor who sometimes helped had already said no the night before. Clara had asked everyone she knew. There was no one left. She looked around the small apartment. The sink was full. The fridge was almost empty. An envelope with red letters sat on the table, half hidden under mail. Final notice. Clara closed her eyes. She thought about the mansion. About Benjamin Franklin's voice during the interview, calm and cold. About the rule he said without blinking. No children, ever. She had nodded that day, her heart in her throat, because she needed the job more than she needed pride. The pay was more than she had ever dreamed of. It paid for Noah's doctor visits. It paid for Lily's glasses. It paid for rent. It paid for food. She stood up and began to move, slow and quiet. She dressed the twins. Lily smiled at her. Noah whimpered. "Mommy fix," Clara whispered, kissing his cheek. "Mommy fix." She packed the diaper bag, medicine, bottles, 2 toys, the blue car with the broken wheel. She stared at the door. If she stayed home, she would lose the job. If she went to work, she would break the rule. Clara took a deep breath and made the choice that scared her most. The mansion gates opened before sunrise. The house looked the same as always, tall, quiet, empty. Clara parked, lifted Noah into her arms, held Lily's hand, and went inside through the service door. Her heart beat hard, but she kept her face calm. She chose a room she had never seen Benjamin enter, a spare room at the end of a long hall. No cameras, no noise. She set the twins down on the floor. "Please," she whispered, kneeling in front of them. "Please be quiet today." They nodded like they understood. For hours, it worked. Clara cleaned. She cooked. She moved like a shadow. She checked on the twins again and again. Lily played with her doll. Noah slept. The house stayed silent. Then the front door opened. Clara heard it from upstairs. Her hands froze in the sink. Her stomach dropped. Benjamin was not supposed to be home. She wiped her hands on her apron and moved toward the stairs. Halfway down, she heard his voice. Sharp, controlled, cold. "Victoria!" She ran. When she reached the room, she saw him standing there, tall, still, his eyes locked on the floor. On the children. Clara's breath left her body. Benjamin turned slowly. His face was pale, his jaw tight. "There are children in my house," he said. Clara stepped forward. "Mr. Franklin, please. You brought children into my house." "I had no one," she said. Her voice shook. "My daycare closed. My son is sick. I had no one." His hand lifted and pointed to the door. That rule was clear. Lily looked up at him. Noah began to cry. Clara felt her world fall apart. She knelt and reached for Noah, her hands shaking. "I'm sorry," she said again and again. "I'm so sorry." Benjamin's voice dropped lower. "Take them and leave." She gathered the twins, the bag, the toys. Her legs felt weak. She could barely stand. Then Lily stopped moving. She looked up at Benjamin, her small face serious, her eyes soft. "Daddy sad?" The words hung in the air. Benjamin stepped back. Clara did not wait. She ran. 10 minutes later, the mansion was quiet again. Benjamin stood alone. A blue toy car sat on the floor. He stared at it. "Daddy, sad." He slid down the wall and sat on the floor. His hands shook as he picked up the car. He did not remember sitting there. He did not remember breathing. All he saw was a hospital room. White walls. Emma's hand in his. Her smile. Tired but full of hope. "He's going to call you Daddy," she had said. Then the sound of metal, glass, sirens. Then silence. Benjamin pressed the toy car to his chest. He cried. Not quiet tears. Not polite tears. He cried like a man who had been holding his breath for 7 years. Across town, Clara sat in her car with the engine off. Noah slept in his seat. Lily watched her. "Mama okay?" Lily asked. Clara wiped her face and forced a smile. "Yes, baby," she said. "Mama okay." But she was not. She opened her phone and wrote the message with shaking hands. She pressed send. At the mansion, Benjamin stared at the ceiling. The silence he built now felt heavy. And for the first time in years, he did not want it. Benjamin Franklin did not leave the room for the rest of that day. He sat on the floor where the children had been, his back against the wall, the small blue toy car still in his hand. The house was quiet again, just the way he had designed it to be. No footsteps. No voices, no life. Yet now the silence felt heavy, like it was pressing against his chest. He kept hearing it. Daddy sad. A child's voice, soft and honest, saying the one thing no adult had dared to say to him in 7 years. Benjamin closed his eyes, but the memories came anyway. The hospital lights, the smell of cleaning liquid, Emma's hand in his, warm, steady, her smile, even when she was scared. The doctor's face when everything went wrong, the words he never forgot. "I'm sorry." Benjamin opened his eyes and stared at the ceiling. He had survived. Emma had not. Their baby had not. Since that day, he had believed survival was a punishment, not a gift. So he built walls. Rules. Silence. He told himself children were forbidden because they were loud, because they broke things, because they ruined peace. But that was not the truth. Children reminded him of what he lost. Benjamin stood up slowly and walked through the house. Room after room. Empty. Clean. Untouched. A dining table made for 12. Used by 1. Guest bedrooms with beds never slept in. A playroom he had never opened. He stopped at the door. His hand shook as he turned the handle. Inside were toys still wrapped in plastic. Shelves for books that were never filled. A small rocking horse covered in dust. He stepped inside and sat on the floor. "What am I doing?" he whispered. That night, he did not sleep. Across town, Clara Lopez sat at her small kitchen table, papers spread out in front of her. Bills, doctor notes, the eviction notice. Noah slept on the couch, his breathing shallow. Lily lay beside him, her doll pressed to her chest. Clara stared at the wall. She had lost the job, the only thing holding her life together. She did not cry again. She had no tears left. The next morning, Benjamin opened the email. Victoria Lopez. Resignation. He read it once, then again. Something inside him broke open. 3 hours later, he made a call. I need an address, he said. By evening, Benjamin stood in front of a worn apartment building. Paint peeling, kids playing in the yard, noise everywhere. His car looked out of place. He climbed the stairs. 3rd floor, apartment 307. He knocked. The door opened a little. Clara's face went pale. Mr. Franklin, I need to talk to you, he said. Please. She hesitated, then opened the door. The apartment was small but clean. Toys in a basket. Drawings on the fridge. Life everywhere. Lily saw him and smiled. Daddy. Clara moved fast. She calls everyone that, she said. I'm sorry. Don't, Benjamin said. They sat. Benjamin told her everything. Emma, the accident, the loss, the silence. I fired you because I was afraid, he said. Not angry, afraid. Clara listened without speaking. I don't want to be alone anymore, Benjamin said. I don't know how to live like that. Clara folded her arms. And what are you asking? He took a breath. Come back, not as my maid, as family, or something close. Live there. Clara stood. This cannot be pity, and I cannot heal you. I will go to therapy, he said. I promise. She looked at her children. After a long silence, she nodded. The next week, they moved in. The mansion changed slowly. Noise filled the halls. Toys appeared on the floor. Benjamin learned to change diapers, learned to hold a crying child, learned to sit at a table with others. He started therapy. I am scared, he told the doctor. What if I lose them? You already love them, the doctor said. That is the risk. Weeks passed. One morning, Bella asked, Shaw our daddy now? Benjamin knelt. If you want me to be. She hugged him. Something settled in his chest. That night, Benjamin knew. He wanted to be their father. Benjamin Franklin stood outside the twins' bedroom door long after they had fallen asleep. Noah was sprawled across his small bed, one leg hanging off the side. Lily slept curled around her doll, her mouth slightly open, breathing slow and even. Benjamin watched them the way someone watches something they are afraid to lose. 7 years ago, he had stood in a hospital hallway and watched a nurse close a door that never opened again. Tonight, he stood in a quiet house and felt something different. Hope, mixed with fear. He walked back to his study and sat at the desk. The house was not silent anymore. It never was now. There were toys in corners, small fingerprints on glass, shoes left in the wrong place. He used to hate mess. Now it felt like proof that he was not alone. He opened the drawer and took out Emma's photo. She was smiling, her hand on her belly, eyes full of plans. Benjamin traced the edge of the picture with his thumb. I'm still scared, he whispered, but I think you would want this. He placed the photo back, not hidden this time, face up. The next morning, Benjamin made a call. I want to start adoption papers, he said, for both children. The lawyer paused. That is a big step. It's the right one. When he told Clara that evening, she did not speak right away. She sat at the table, her hands wrapped around a cup of tea that had gone cold. You don't have to do this, she said softly. I know, Benjamin replied. I want to. Tears slid down Clara's face. She wiped them quickly, embarrassed. No one has ever chosen us like this, she said. Benjamin looked at Noah and Lily on the floor. I choose you. The process took months. Home visits, questions, papers. Clara was nervous every time someone knocked on the door. Benjamin stayed calm on the outside, but inside he felt the old fear return. The fear that something good could be taken away. During that time, something else grew between him and Clara. It started small. Late talks in the kitchen after the twins slept. Shared coffee in the mornings. Quiet laughter over burned pancakes. Hands brushing when they passed in the hallway. One night, Clara found Benjamin sitting in the dark living room, staring at nothing. You okay? She asked. I feel guilty, he said, for being happy. Clara sat beside him. Loving again does not erase the past, she said. It means you survived it. He turned to her. I don't know how to love halfway. Then don't, she said. Love fully or don't at all. That night, he kissed her. Not rushed, not desperate, just honest. They both cried after. I'm scared, Clara said. So am I, Benjamin answered. Let's be scared together. The day of the adoption hearing arrived. The courtroom was small, quiet. The judge smiled at the twins. Do you know what today is? She asked. Lily nodded. We get a daddy. Noah added, forever. Benjamin felt his throat tighten. When the judge said the words, when the papers were signed, when the twins' last name became Franklin, Benjamin cried without shame. Clara cried too. Outside the courthouse, Lily hugged his leg. Daddy not sad now, she said. No, Benjamin replied, lifting her up. Daddy's not sad anymore. That night, after the twins slept, Benjamin knelt in front of Clara. He held a ring in his shaking hand. You came into my life when I was empty, he said. You brought life into a house that was dead. You showed me I was still worth loving. Clara covered her mouth, tears falling. Will you marry me? He asked. She nodded before he finished speaking. Yes, she said. Yes. They married in the garden the next spring. No crowd, no noise, just family. Lily scattered flowers with care. Noah carried the rings and dropped them twice. Everyone laughed. Benjamin watched Clara walk toward him and thought about the man he used to be, alone in silence, hiding from pain. That man was gone. Years later, the mansion no longer felt big. It felt full. Benjamin made pancakes every Saturday. Clara worked fewer hours and laughed more. Noah played Little League. Lily sang loudly and without fear. People asked Benjamin how his life changed. He always gave the same answer. A little girl asked me if I was sad, he said. And I finally told the truth. The house that once held silence now held love. And every night, when Benjamin tucked the twins into bed, he whispered the same words. I'm here. I'm not leaving. And for the first time in his life, he knew it was true. Dear viewers, this story is not just about a billionaire, a maid, or two innocent children. It is about broken people who thought their lives were over, until love found them in the most unexpected way. Benjamin thought silence would protect him, but silence was slowly killing him. Clara thought strength meant carrying everything alone. But even the strongest hearts need help. And those two little children, who knew nothing about wealth or pain, spoke the truth that saved a life. Sometimes healing does not come from doctors or money. Sometimes it comes from a small voice asking a simple question. Are you sad? If this story touched your heart, remember this. Being broken does not mean you are finished. Being tired does not mean you are weak. And being afraid does not mean you are alone. Love can still find you, even when you think you are too far gone. If this story moved you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs hope today. Tell us in the comments where you are watching from, and what this story taught you about love, healing, or second chances. If you want more emotional stories like this, comment more stories, and you will be the first to receive the next one. Before you go, answer these questions in the comments. 1. Do you believe people can heal after deep loss? Or does pain change them forever? 2. Have you ever been saved by someone you never expected? 3. If you were Benjamin, would you have opened your heart again, or stayed safe and alone? Thank you for staying till the end. Until next time, remember, love does not need permission. It only needs someone brave enough to say yes.